Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. I am here to discuss about a wonderful topic. What are the qualities that brings one dear to Lord Krishna? Krishna himself state about these qualities in Bhagavad Gita in chapter number 12, devotional service, between the verses 13 and 20. Let's see what are those qualities. Bhakti Yoga is the most effective path of spiritual advancement. Krishna enumerates the transcendental qualities automatically achieved by a Bhakti Yogi. One engaged in Bhakti Yoga exhibits transcendental qualities that mark him or her as a devotee. The Lord is pleased with such a devotee. These qualities fall into two categories, that is Swarupa Lakshanam and Tathaksa Lakshanam. In English, it is essential qualities or ancillary qualities. These automatically results from surrender to Krishna. All these qualities we are going to discuss are ancillary except the most important Bhaktiman, the devotional service to the Lord, which is the essential quality. Therefore, all these qualities result from mind and intelligence fixed on Krishna, that is devotional service. The first category is takes all sufferings as Krishna's kindness to avoid reaction. Quality number 1, tolerant. Adveshta sarva bhutanam, never disturbed by any circumstances. Tolerance means that one should be practiced to bear insult and dishonor from others. If one is engaged in the advancement of spiritual knowledge, there will be so many insults and much dishonor from others. This is expected because material nature is so constituted. When one can learn how to tolerate these temporary so-called pains and pleasures in every condition of life, then he is advanced. An example related to tolerance. One fine day, Brihumani tested the tolerance of the Lord by purposefully kicking his chest. But instead of being angry at Brihumani, Lord Vishnu begged his pardon, saying that Brihumuni's leg might have been badly hurt because his chest is too hard. The Lord has the sign of the foot of Brihupad as the mark of tolerance. This is from the reference of Srimad Bhagavatam 2.7.7. Why we need to be tolerant, right? There is a famous verse. Let's see about that. Kalau vato divaseshwarasya kiranaihi santapite mastake vachan desam anatapam vidivasat talasya moolam gataha tatrapi yasya mahafalena patata bhaktasasaptam siraha prayo gacchati yatra bhagyarahitas tatraiva yanti apadaha. This verse is from Niti Shataka of Bhartahari, verse number 19. What does it mean? A bald man's head was burning by the strong rays of the sun. He decided to find some relief from the heat, and by their arrangement of providence, he found shelter under a palm tree. Even after finding relief with such great difficulty, a coconut fell on him, breaking his head open with a loud cracking noise. Truly, whatever an ill-fated person goes, his misfortunes follow him. We sometimes go through phases of bad fortune when things keep going wrong, one after another. Whatever we do to set things right only makes them worse. Gita's wisdom helps us to understand that such phase delivers us concentrated doses of reaction to our past karma. To navigate such phases or even to just survive them, we need patience and tolerance. Srila Prabhupada mentioned in his letter to Hamsaduta on December 10, 1972 as follows. Devotee means he is able to tolerate all kinds of discomfort and whims of the material nature. And because he is too much absorbed in serving Krishna, He takes no time to become angry or take offense with others or find out some fault. No, devotee means very liberal and kind to everyone, always gentleman under all kinds of conditions of life. The next quality is non-envious, which is kind to everyone, even to his enemy. Not become his enemy, consider all reactions as a result of one's past misdeeds. With reference to Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.8, Tatte Anukampa, who takes distress as the Lord's mercy. I deserve much more. Nobody likes envy, whether it may be experienced in oneself or seen in others. Therefore, sane person will try by all means to rid himself of this inability. However hard we may try, though we cannot become free from the subtle envy. After having failed to control the waves of envy by various mental adjustments, everyone is looking for an effective remedy of the recurring disease of enviousness. Fortunately, the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the crest jewel of Vedic literature, offers sublime directions aimed at curing this disease of envy. In verse 7.15.23, it is stated, Anvikshikya shokamohau dambam mahat upasaya yogantarayan maunena himsam kamadi anihaya, which means, Srila Prabhupada's translation as mentioned below, by discussing spiritual knowledge one can conquer lamentation and illusion. By serving a great devotee one can become prideless. By keeping silent one can avoid obstacles on the path of mystic yoga, and simply by stopping sense gratification one can conquer envy. So, the root cause of envy is the inclination of the mind towards sense gratification. Only because we want to enjoy particular things in this world for ourselves, we feel envious when others enjoy those very things. However, when a person no longer has anything to enjoy in this world, then where is the need for envy, right? Having identified the root cause of the envy, the next question that comes in our mind is how to remove this root cause. The following direction is found in the verse regarding how to deal with the mind's attraction towards sense gratification. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.10.20. Ko anvartaha sukayati enam kamo va mrityurantike agatam niyamanasya vadyasyeva natustidaha. Death is not at all pleasing, and since everyone is exactly like a condemned man being led to the place of execution, what possible happiness can people derive from material objects or the gratification they provide? This is the meaning of the verse given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. A person facing immediate execution cannot be pacified by any amount of sense gratification, even if he is offered a beautiful woman, a house, $1 million. Thus, when he is led to the execution place, he has no concern for envy. By the practice of envisioning one's final moment, one becomes sober and completely indifferent to all varieties of sense enjoyment. Only as long as the life remains with us, we are inclined to sense gratification and to envy others. In the world, everyone is competing in order to increase the sense gratification. Even between nations, the envy plays an important part. However, by envisioning death, one becomes free from the entanglement in sense gratification, and by stopping sense gratification, we can conquer envy and become non-envious. Next quality, Maitraha, a kind friend to all living entities. In Bhagavad Gita, as it is, verse 15.7, it is stated as ममैवांसो जीवलोके जीवभूता सनातनः मनाक्शस्त्रेन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति. Here Krishna states that all living entities are his eternal parts and parcels. Because the devotee is awake to this fact, he is friendly to one and all, even those who act as his enemy. In Srimad Bhagavatam, verse 4.31.19, it is further stated as Dayaya sarvabhuteshu santushtya ena kena va sarvendriyopasantya cha tushyati yasu janartanaha. Srila Prabhupada's purport. By showing mercy to all living entities, being satisfied somehow or other, and controlling the senses from sense enjoyment, one can very quickly satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Janardana. From this verse, we can take merciful, satisfied, and controlled. When these qualities reside in us, we cannot be envious of others and we will be friend for everyone. The next quality is Nirmama, free from proprietorship. Devotee does not attach much importance to the pains and troubles of the body. Free from false ego, knows that I am not the body, equipoised in happiness and distress. In the Ishopanishad mantra, number 1, it is stated as Isavasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tayaktena bhujinta ma grata kasya swittanam. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. So everything belongs to Krishna. So to hoard wealth or use it for sense gratification is very bad. The best use of everything is for Krishna. At best, we may act as Krishna's instrument, but because we are not with the scripture, they do not take care of us. Next quality is satisfied. Whatever comes by Lord's grace does not over endeavor to achieve something. Don't catch anything. Let go. If we do not open material account with others, we will be able to be always satisfied. Our satisfaction goes as soon as we catch the inabilities of other living entities. In Srimad Bhagavatam 8.19.24, it is stated as Yadrichayopapannena santushto vartate shukam nashantustastribir loke rajitatmopasaditahi. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. One should be satisfied with whatever he achieves by his previous destiny, for discontent can never bring happiness. A person who is not self-controlled will not be happy even with possessing the three worlds. Everyone has their lot in life and be satisfied with that is santushtaha. The 5 rupees in our hand is more valuable than the million in other man's hand. Next quality, free from false ego. The root of false ego is ignorance. We are ignorant of the fact that one day we are going to go. In Bhagavatam 2.3.17, it is mentioned as Ayurharati vaipumsam udyanastam chayannashau tasyarte yat shanonita uttama sloka vartaya. Srila Prabhupada's translation. Both by rising and by setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of all good personality of Godhead. The next quality is self-controlled, completely perfect. because completely fixed in instruction of his spiritual master. The devotee is self-controlled. In Bhagavad Gita Chapter 5, 26th verse, it is stated as Kama Krodha Vimuktanam Yatinam Yatachetasam Abhito Brahma Nirvanam Vartate Viditatmanam. Srila Prabhupada's translation: those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. By keeping our eye on the goal of Krishna's lotus feet, as Arjuna only saw the eye of the bird when asked to shoot his arrow by his teacher Dronacharya. We can also be disciplined even though all inabilities may surround us. In the end, we can only blame ourselves if we miss the target, isn't it? Next quality, determined because of sense-controlled. Engaged in devotional service with determination and self-controlled. Determination means to finish it or see the things through to their end. The following is the story of how a sparrow displayed the lessons of how one should be determined. Every one of us know this, right? So, once upon a time, a sparrow lost her eggs in the waves of the ocean. Sparrow laid her eggs on the shore of the ocean, but big ocean waves carried it away. The sparrow was upset, in fact very upset, and asked the ocean to return her eggs. The ocean did not consider her appeal at all. So the sparrow decided to dry up the ocean. She began to pick out the water in her beak, and everyone laughed at her for her impossible determination. The news of her activity spread, and at last Garuda, the gigantic bird carrier of Lord Vishnu, heard it. He became compassionate towards his small sister bird, and so he came to see the sparrow. Garuda was very pleased by the determination of the small sparrow, and he promised to help. Thus Garuda at once asked the ocean to return her eggs, lest he himself take up the work of the sparrow. The ocean was frightened at this and returned the eggs. Thus the sparrow became very happy by the grace of Garuda. Similarly, the practice of Bhakti Yoga in Krishna consciousness may appear to be very difficult, but if anyone follows the principles with great determination, the Lord will surely help. For God helps those who help themselves. This is the purport from Bhagavad Gita as it is, 6.24. Next quality is mind and intelligence fixed entirely on the Supreme Lord. So, the devotee is fully conscious that Krishna is the eternal Lord. Mai arpita manobuddhir. So from Bhagavad Gita, we can see this verse, Mai arpita manobuddhir, that is, mind and intelligence fixed on me. There is a famous example for this determination and mind and intelligence fixed, how one can serve the Lord. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th canto, 4th chapter. Ambarish Maharaj, how he engaged all faculties in Sri Krishna's devotional service, verses between 18 to 20. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor, that is the famous verse. I will read out the translation from Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj Ambarish always engaged his mind in meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna, his words in describing the glories of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the Lord's temple, and his ears in hearing the words spoken by Krishna and or about Krishna. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna, Krishna's temple and Krishna's places like Mathura and Vrindavan. He engaged his sense of touch in touching the bodies of the Lord's devotees. He engaged his sense of smell in smelling the fragrance of tulasi offered to the Lord, and he engaged his tongue in tasting the Lord's prasad. He engaged his leg in walking to the holy places and temples of the Lord, his head in bowing down before the Lord, and all his desires in serving the Lord 24 hours a day. Indeed, Maharaj Ambarish never desired anything for his own sense gratification. He engaged all his senses in devotional service in various engagements related to the Lord. This is the way to increase attachment for the Lord and be completely free from all material desires. Everything is Krishna's. What can we do but to engage in his service, right? Next theme is never cause distress to others. There are two qualities in it: not get affected and does not affect others. Because a devotee always engrossed in Krishna consciousness, material circumstances cannot move him. Not disturbed by anyone, such a stage is obtained by grace of the Lord to the devotee. And no one is put into anxiety, difficulty, fearfulness or dissatisfaction by such a devotee, because he is very kind to everyone. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.8, it is stated as Tattenu kampam su samikshamano bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam. Whenever a devotee is in distress or has fallen into difficulty, he thinks that it is the Lord's mercy upon him. He thinks, thanks to my past misdeed, I should suffer far greater than I am suffering now. So it is by the mercy of the Supreme Lord I am not getting all the punishment I am due. I am just getting a little by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is always calm, quiet, patient, despite many distressful conditions. Moving on to the next theme, that is detached from everything worldly. Next quality, anapeksha, that is neutral, not dependent on ordinary course of activities. Money may be offered to a devotee, but he does not struggle to acquire it. If it comes automatically by Lord's grace, he is not agitated. There must be a control over his desires, and he performs action exclusively for the pleasure of the Lord. Man has taken birth to perform just his duties. So the Lord is present in all righteous action. These are the character of a person who is devoid of desire, and he is neutral, anapekshaha. And the next quality is suchihi, which means pure, both internal and external. How is that? It's bathing at least twice a day, rising early for devotional activities. He would be pure, internal as well as externally. This devotee who is pure undertakes selfless service to purify the heart. He will purify his mind, speech and body. How? There is a famous verse, Kayena vacha manasendriyarva. According to that, the devotee purifies both externally and internally. The next quality is daksha, that is expertness. He fully knows the essence of all activities of life, convinced of authoritative scriptures. He knows the essence of all activities of life. Next quality, udasina, to be totally detached. A devotee never takes the part of particular party. So the devotee must be totally detached with respect to whatever one is doing. He is to do any kind of work, anything he can do, but he is not attached to that. Next quality is gatavyataha, that is pain free. Because he is free from all bodily designation, he is pain free. He do not brood over the past or worry about the future. And his focus, his thoughts on the present. His mental worry will be eliminated. He engaged in the rightful action. Next quality is Sarvarambha Parityagi, free from all endeavors. That is, not striving for some fruit. Pure devotee does not endeavor for anything against the principles of devotional service. Say, for example, constructing a big building requires great energy. A devotee takes such business only if it befits him in devotional service. Example, constructing a big temple, but just not constructing a big personal house. Who is a true renunciate? This Sarvarambha Parityagi, this implies total renunciation. He who remains perfectly calm at all times and all circumstances is the one who merits such a description, isn't it? God distances himself from the obstentious type. In fact, exhibitionism is the first thing that one must renounce. This guy or this devotee never hankered after publicity. He eliminated the ego to purify the heart. So moving on to the next theme, which is unaffected by material emotions. This devotee who neither rejoices nor grieves over material gain or loss. Next quality, neither laments nor desires. Not anxious to get a son or a disciple, not lament by not getting them also. Next quality, transcendental in face of all kinds of auspiciousness, inauspiciousness and sinful acts. Nothing is an impediment in the discharge of devotional service, Bhaktiman. Moving on to the next theme, which gives the rest of the qualities for a devotee. Equal to friends and enemies. Next quality, equipoised in dualities. Next quality, always free from contaminating association. Next quality is silence, which implies to speak only of essential, most essential speech, to speak of Supreme Lord. We already saw about satisfied, is happy in all condition, sometimes get palatable food or sometimes not, he is satisfied. Next quality is he doesn't care for any residence. He is fixed in determination on knowledge. The most important is engaged in devotional service. In Brihat Naradiya Puran, it is stated that Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam, Kalau Nasti, Eva Nasti, Eva Nasti, Eva Gatiranyata. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. Thus, we have seen the different qualities and a little detail about that. So, in summary, I would like to share just the quality alone. So, you will be very clear what are those qualities. So, non-envious towards anyone, including the envious, friendly to all, kind, merciful to all, free from the sense of ownership or proprietorship, free from false ego, identification with body, equal in happiness and distress, forgiving and tolerant, satisfied always in devotional service, self-controlled, determined, mind and intelligence fixed on me. No one is agitated by him. He is not agitated by anyone. Equipoised in joy and distress, fear and anxiety. Neutral, expert or skillful in all situation, pure and clean. He is unattached to material persons, free from all pains, free from all designations, free from all material endeavors. He neither rejoices nor grieves. He neither laments nor desires. Renounces all auspicious and inauspicious things. Equal to friends and enemies. Equipoised in all dualities, that is, honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress. Always free from contaminating association. equal in criticism and praise, silent, which means speaks only essential topics, satisfied with whatever comes of its own accord, doesn't care for any residence, steady in mind, fixed in knowledge. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and completely engage with faith, making me the supreme goal, such devotees are very, very dear to me. This is what Krishna ends the chapter 12. One who wants to be recognized as devotee of Lord Krishna should develop all these good qualifications. Of course, one does not extraneously endeavor to acquire these qualifications because engagement in Krishna consciousness and devotional service automatically helps one develop them. One who is not a devotee has no good qualifications. Lord Krishna used the words Mat Bhakta and Bhaktiman in the verses, the last couple of verses in chapter 12, which indicates a person who has a devotion unto him. Such a devotion is the most essential quality, Swarupa Lakshana, in a devotee, while the remaining qualities in the above list are his secondary qualities, that is Tathagata Lakshana, that depend on his bhakti. They automatically result from the devotee surrendered to Krishna and fixing his mind and intelligence on Krishna. This we discussed when we started discussing about the qualities of a devotee. When you practice devotional service, engaged in the devotional service, your mind and intelligence firmly fixed in Lord Krishna, all these qualities you will develop by yourself by the practice of devotional service. One may question, I am a grahastha, I am not a brahmachari, I am not a sannyasi. Is it possible to live like this with all the qualities? Yes, we can able to live like this. Take small endeavor to surrender yourself to Krishna. Start practicing the devotional service and following the regulative principles. Start chanting the holy name of Krishna. You will be surprised to see yourself in few months. You will develop all these qualities in yourself and you will be the one dear to Lord Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you for listening. I'll come up with another topic. Thanks to Selva who gave me this opportunity to discuss about the qualities that endear one to Lord Krishna. Hari Bol.